Hi everybody. So we're going to do something fun now that's in the yellow book. This is different from anything we've ever done before. I usually do it at some point with the group in class. So what you need to do is turn to page 33, B33. It's in the editing section, and go and do this. Now, the best way to do it is you're watching the video now, of course. Answer the questions, and then when you get to a certain point where you get done, you have to stop the video and do what you need to do, then start the video to hear the next set of instructions, because it's really important to do this without watching till the end. If you watch till the end and hear what I'm going to explain, it might alter the way that you answer the questions. So the first thing you want to do is you want to answer the 4 pages starting on page 33, 34, 35, and 36. There are 93 questions, and the questions are set up, and doing this is a personality test. It offers you insights into how you see the world and so forth. So it's best not to peek ahead and not to cheat in a sense. And there's no right or wrong answer. It just shows you stuff about you. So what you want to do is you want to answer the questions by saying, so I'll do the first one. When you go somewhere for the day, would you rather, and it has a letter K, plan what you do and when, or L, just go? So what you should do to answer this, you should actually have a separate scoring sheet, and you should write like 1 all the way to 93, and then put down which one. So would you rather plan, or would you just go? So if you'd rather plan for the day, then you do a tally of K. You put K, and then or if you like just go, then put down L. Next question: do you consider yourself to be L, more of a spontaneous person, or K, more of an organized person? So again, whichever one suits you, put that down for number 2, and so forth. Then you keep going. Then there's another type of question there. It's like word pairings, and it says, which word in each pair appeals to you more? Think about what the word means, not how they look or how they sound. And it'll have private, open. And again, you pick the letter corresponding to the word, and you write that down for the answer. So then you do all 93 of these. You have to do them all, or else it doesn't give you the score properly. And then when you're done, all 4 pages, you tally up. And this is the ending part here. It's last, and then at the bottom it says how many A's, how many B's, how many C's, how many D's, and so forth. So you don't have to write it here. You could use a separate sheet of paper, and you write down, and you find out how many A's, B's, C's, D's, G's, H's, K's, and L's. So this part is going to take some time, because you have to answer all the questions. So again, I want people to do this, and then get your number. And I'm going to pause here for a few seconds. So here's where you should pause the video, do this, and come back. So I'm going to just stand here for a few seconds. So you pause. Okay, so now you've come back and you've answered all 93 of these questions, and you know how many A's, how many B's, how many C's, D's, etc. You have those numbers. So then you go to the next page in the book, and that is the scoring. And this shows you what you want to do is you want to convert your A number becomes your E number, your B number becomes your I number, and so forth. And what this is what we're doing. You're taking a Myers-Briggs personality inventory, and what this is showing you is where your tendencies are on a continuum on four levels, on 4 things: extrovert to introvert, sensing to intuition, that there are scales, thinking to feeling, judging to perceiving. And then what you're supposed to do is get your type, and you write that in here, the letters that you are. Then you go to the next, and you take the number from here, the number from here, and so say you're E and you're a 17. So you would circle where you are. E, you say you're an ENTP. That's me, actually. I'm an ENTP. And you circle what number you are of the highest one, and then you write your letters down here, and then you write if you're a clear for each of the ones, a slight, a moderate. I know you can't quite see it from how I'm holding it to the camera, but you have it there. And then once you get your type and your preferences, you turn to the next page, and you could find your type on the chart, what you are. And you can see how much this relates to you. So when I did this, as I said, I'm an ENTP, so extrovert versus introvert. So extroverts are people who like to be out in the world, and they feel they come alive when they're out and with people and they're socializing. Introverts prefer to be more by themselves and such. So this is a useful thing to know when you're making career choices, because if you're an extroverted person, it may be hard to be someone who does scientific research or spends a lot of time in a library, or being a writer who's going to have to spend a lot of time, working in a solitary way. Simultaneously, if you think you wanted to be a DJ or someone who needs to be very social and very public, and you're heavily introverted, it might be harder to get yourself out to do that. The next one, the S versus the I. So intuitive people are the type of people who make connections between things. So I was a very high N. They use the N to mean that. So it makes sense that I'm someone who's interested in the concept paragraph. My guess is if you're a high S, you have a lot of trouble with the concept paragraph, because S's see things very concretely. They want to deal in facts, and they don't want to deal with making conceptual connections. So the advantage of being a high N is being able to see the connections, but the advantage of being an S is that you really appreciate being in the moment more. So again, as someone who is a high N, sometimes it's hard for me to just focus on what's happening in front of me. I eat too quickly. Sometimes I'm so wrapped up in my head I don't notice things that are happening right in front of me, and it makes it harder to appreciate the moment. I always have to slow myself down. The T versus the F. It doesn't mean who's smarter or who feels more. It just means what you prefer, what you lean towards. So, if you're high F, you're more mindful of how something makes you feel. But just because you feel that way over something doesn't necessarily mean that that's how it happened. If you're high T, that means someone who regards their sense of reason the most, and maybe is disregarding of how they might feel over something. So if you're a counselor or someone who has to deal with people on a personal level, being an F, being a higher F, might be an advantage for that, whereas dealing in logic and such, maybe like your T coming out. So the P versus the J. So judging versus perceiving. So judging people like to be very organized, whereas perceiving people maybe like to go with the flow more. So I was a P, but I think I'm a secret J because I'm very organized. I create these books. I like to be very organized with class. But I think I fancy myself as someone who could just throw on a backpack and just take off and go wherever I may. So that's how I like to see myself. So I scored a P, but I think I have secret J tendencies. So what you can do is, after you've hopefully done all this and gone through, you could read about yourself here, and this is the official answer sheet on this page, on page, what am I calling it, page 38. But then if you go on, you can see on page 39 and 40, I included from another source, and this is just for fun, what Hogwarts house in Harry Potter, based on your test, you would be put into, whether Slytherin or Gryffindor or Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw, and it gives all that explanation. And then on the next set of pages, on 41 and 42, and on 43, it explains the unexpected desires of every Myers-Briggs personality type. So this is more for fun than for real, or it's someone just taking it to writing an article to sort of imagine this out, and you can see how much this applies to you. So again, what this is the Myers-Briggs personality inventory, and it's helpful. If it rings true, it's helpful to reflect upon this. Again, there's no right answer or wrong answer or better way to be. Some people have some of the qualities to some more extreme. Some are more in the middle. So like when I say I was an E, I was a slight E. And that kind of makes sense because I'm very happy being in the classroom and doing the stand-up comedy as we talked about. So I like being with people, but I'm also very happy by myself and reading long books and doing writing projects. So I'm fairly balanced in that way. So sometimes being in the middle or not being very strong in either direction is also a potential advantage. Okay, so I hope these instructions and explanations were clear. and people write in the comments how, if you were able to do this correctly, and what your thoughts if it rang true for you. Okay, thank you.